No.
You guys are doing phenomenal.
Hey Facebook people, man, how you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Anyone that's gonna watch it from Facebook Live, from my YouTube channel. Today has been a very, very awesome day. For my mentees, we had like a mastermind where we came together within a group. TJ came along, he spoke about deal sourcing, Facebook ads. You know, the value was very, very insane, was above and beyond, you know, which is exciting for me because this group of people that I'm working with, they're getting crazy value in terms of, you know, the rental and business. They're learning from different trainers, and after that, we had Mitesh on his birthday. You know, happy birthday, Mitesh.
Happy birthday, bro.
He came along, he spoke about sales and marketing. Then again, it was above and beyond. And I believe a lot of people, they're not teaching this type of stuff. So for these guys to come along and then, you know, learn about sales and marketing from an expert, you know, outside the property and tailor it into the property, you know, market, it was amazing. And then for anyone that's doing rent to rent, like I love what TJ said, you know, the combo.
Oh,
KFC.
the KFC combo strategy. Yeah.
The KFC combo strategy. So pretty much, you know, a lot of people are leaving deals on the table.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I'll come across a deal, for example, it doesn't meet my requirement, I will leave it. But on the flip side, if I had, you know, the knowledge or the skills or the time or the ability to package and sell it on to someone else, you know, we could be making, you know, a lot of money. So, you know, hand in hand, just
Do you know what
rather
the thing
than
is?
doing.
You're so right on that because so many people look at them as separate strategies. And yes, they are separate strategies, but how about you combine both of them?
Exactly.
Because many people are focusing on their core strategy. So you've got your set of people that do rent-to-rent HMO, and many of them have their numbers that they need to make property.
Yep.
And they say, okay, well, my benchmark is £500 per month. Then they do an analysis, and the deal's only going to make them, let's say, £300, £400 per month.
Yeah.
And guess what they do? They pass it on, and they say to the estate agent, you know what, thank you so much, or the landlord, thank you so much, we don't want this.
Exactly.
But they don't know that the option is there to sell on the deal to someone else.
Exactly.
That's where people are leaving money on the table.
Because the crazy thing is, you may not want the deal, but someone else may do.
Of course, because every single person has a different level. Every single person has a different financial benchmark.
Exactly.
What you want to make every single month is different from what I want to make. The cost of your living is different to what I need to survive.
Exactly.
So what you've got to do is understand that there are multiple strategies and there are opportunities to combine multiple strategies to help you hit your financial freedom goal.
Exactly. So pretty much work hand in hand. So let's say, for example, you get a deal, you come across a deal that you don't want, you sell that deal on, you make money, you can use that money to finance the deal that you really want.
That is the aim of the game. You just literally hit the nail on the head, and I know I love that word. The whole idea of this is cash flow. You are looking for an opportunity to focus on your core strategy.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking people to go into different strategies. I'm saying, hey, focus on your core strategy, and while you're focusing on your core strategy, find one or two deals, get compliant, get an understanding, find one or two deals, and that increases your income. So guess what? You can do a lot quicker. You can focus more on your core strategy and grow your core strategy a lot quicker.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So in hindsight, if we look at it, for example, like you see like buy-to-let and flipping.
Yep.
So your rent-to-rent income can be like your buy-to-let income.
Absolutely.
And then your deal sourcing income can be like your flipping income.
Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head on that. What many people are failing to understand. In fact, every single person here that's active, let me know if you're active. If you're out there speaking to landlords, agents, and developers, calculate how much money you have potentially lost over the last 6 to 12 months by not trading deals, by not selling on deals that you could have made money from.
Exactly. You know what's crazy? I used to actually brag on when I get a deal that I don't want.
Yeah.
You know what?
Silly.
That doesn't match my requirement. Swerve next.
I don't want it anymore. Yeah.
You know,
It's absolutely silly. Because when you calculate that, even at the low end, even if you're not using it as your core strategy, even if you just sold a deal on for £200, forget about 2,000, 10,000, 5,000, even if you sold a deal on for £200, and you're picking up a deal every single month, it's an additional £200 to add to your cash flow.
Absolutely. That can pay like your bills, that can
Of course.
pay
Well,
your gas bill, that can pay your petrol, your transport.
It pays your HMO bills. Do you
Exactly,
understand?
exactly.
Well, obviously not £200, but you guys get what we're trying to say on this. Let's say you've got a deal, and you're selling on a deal for £500, even £1,000, it covers the cost of running your business. And guess what happens? Your confidence builds. You've got more money to take on more. You've got more money to put into another strategy. It helps you grow a lot quicker. That's why I'm talking fully about the combo, the KFC combo strategy.
But you know what? Even me watching that was, I gained so much value. So if I've gained value from it, imagine what my mentees got out of this, which was amazing, and I appreciate you coming out
no problem
to share that. But on the flip side, you're doing something very, very, because I remember when I released my book, right? You wasn't really a fan of it.
Yeah.
Because you was like, you know what? I'd rather do on the teaching, I'd rather do this, I want to do that. But what made you, switch around and do something, put your knowledge into it? Because it's not your first book.
No. So I've written a number of books.
Yeah.
It took a lot for me. I remember, I think it was about 8-9 months ago, I posted saying I'm getting so many people who are asking me to write a service accommodation book, and I said, you know what, I just can't be bothered. It's going to take so much of my time, it's going to take so much of my effort. But as I travel around the country, as I speak to different people, I find that people genuinely want a book similar to my sort of training. My training's a bit interesting in terms of we spend a good 40-50% of the training talking about the ups and downs of service accommodation and understanding the things that are going to happen that will try and destroy your business. And I've put those things down into the book as well so that people can get a holistic perspective on what service accommodation is, but the tiny little tips and tricks that you can use to actually grow the business, but you're going to pay a slight percentage of what you would have paid, which is thousands of pounds for a property training, but you can pick it up in a book. That's why I wanted to do it.
But at the end of the day, they're still getting your knowledge.
Bro,
they got that forever.
Absolutely. So you pick up the book and you can do whatever the flip you want to do with that book.
Yeah.
So I remember the last title of the book was supposed to be, shut your mouth and flip and become a property investor.
It's like you're fighting someone.
Yeah.
But
you know what it is? That's my style. If you speak to any of my mentees, if you speak to any of my trainees, they will tell you. In fact, some of your trainees will probably tell you that today. I'm very direct, especially for paid knowledge.
Yeah.
When it comes down to people paying for value, it's not the time to laugh and joke. I spend a lot of my time clowning around on Facebook because I'm all about having fun. I don't care much about trying to be stiff, because I want people to walk away from this saying, oh my God, this is serious business. Let's crack on, let's learn what we need to learn, and let's make some money from this strategy. So I've tweaked the title a bit, changed the title to something a lot more reasonable. The book, I'm confident, is going to help a lot of people get started, and it's going to help a lot of even the people who are already in the strategy. And if all you pick up as an experienced person is one or two little tricks that we've been utilizing in terms of even marketing to change the game
especially
around.
what you were showing us today in terms of the Facebook
marketing.
ads.
Oh, brother,
Bro,
that's an entire strategy by itself. I would go as far as to say 50%, that's a lie, 60-70% of people who are in service accommodation don't do it, and they don't know about it. So again, these are the tiny things, tiny little things that you should be doing, because service accommodation is not what it was 4 or 5 years ago. So I fell into
where you
this
just check it on Airbnb.
Bro,
before you even get to that, right? Because obviously this video here is gonna go to on my YouTube channel. We're gonna share it around, and anyone that's watching here, ask us any questions. If you get any value out of it, ask here. But one thing I wanted to ask you, for anyone that doesn't know what service accommodation is, just give us a little, tell us what service, because people know me as the HMO.
Yes.
I can get my trumpet, stop blowing here, I'm good. But let me know, what is service accommodation?
Service accommodation, the best and the simplest way to explain, and this is just giving you an overview so you can conceptualize it. Essentially, you are taking a property that you don't own, you are borrowing someone's asset, and you're turning it into an opportunity.
Keyword, so you're actually renting someone else's asset.
Well, yes, renting, but there's also many other words to describe it. You're controlling,
exactly.
You are borrowing, you are renting, you are managing. So there are so many terms, but essentially it means any person, quite frankly, any person can take on someone's asset that the person's paid thousands and hundreds of thousands of pounds to acquire. You get to rent that property, and you get the chance to re-rent it out to 4 different types of people. So contractors, corporates, groups, and leisure, and then we take the small slice in between, and that small slice could be anything from £400 to £1,000. So it means I get the chance to make the same profit as the owner of the actual property, but they've had to put down a 25% deposit. People don't get how crazy this is.
Don't.
Brother, I don't have to put down a deposit. I don't have to do a referencing check. I don't have to go and beg my mum and my dad to give me money so I can get my first property. Of course, I'm saying buying a property is amazing, but cash flow is king. So look at it this way. Imagine you could generate a £500 to £1,000 per month by utilizing somebody else's assets.
Yeah.
Then the question is, how many of those do you need to do? And that's what I talk about in the book.
Wow. That's powerful.
Brother, it's more than powerful, bro.
That's
When
powerful.
I fell into this strategy, it completely changed my life. Because I came from a place where I didn't even know that property was an opportunity for certain people.
So obviously you told us what service accommodation is. So now because you train people for sure, you mentor people for sure. I attended one of your training, which was amazing, and today you trained my mentees, which was amazing. Now you put it into book, right? Who will benefit from reading your book?
Every single person. And now don't get me wrong, I mean, if you don't care about income, then that's the person that shouldn't bother reading the book.
Right.
But if you are someone in this day and age that needs an additional income or needs more money, then you should absolutely pick up the book. For number one.
Yeah.
It's going to inspire you, number one. Because it tells my story. It says how I fell into this. It talks about what I had to do to get my first unit.
Yeah.
It talks about how to beg, borrow, and steal to get my first unit. So that by itself is going to give you the motivation and get rid of all the excuses that people have. That's why I write books, number one. If you go back to my other book, Untangling Success, I'm all about removing the nonsense excuses that keep us from taking action. So that's the first thing. Number two, if you're looking for an additional income, if you don't have money, if you do have money, if you just want more money, then you should absolutely pick up the book, because it shows you this very unique strategy that many people don't even know. It's a thing, and it shows you how to run it and how to maximize it by doing small, tiny little tips and tricks. Because it's often the small, tiny things that we can't get openly that help us grow our business. It's usually the small, tiny little things, and that's it.
Okay. How much for a signed copy?
Harry said how much for a signed copy. So yeah,
but you know what's crazy? Because a lot of people, they might not know the property world.
Yeah.
But they think before I get involved, I need 25% deposit. I need to have perfect credit ratings.
Yeah.
So would you say, does that relate to service accommodation?
No, absolutely not. So I had someone called Sylvia, shout out to Sylvia, that commented on one of our videos earlier today.
Yeah.
And she said
Hi,
the
Sylvia.
issue in the community, the issue across the board is most people believe, very incorrectly, they believe that in order to get into property, you've got to start as a traditional buy-to-let investor. And to go down that route, it means you've got to find a 25% deposit.
Which in London...
Flip are you? Let's do the maths, and this is something I do at my training events. We break down the £300,000 problem that every single property investor has.
Yeah.
And if you come from London and you want to generate £1,000 a month, not even profit, you want to generate £1,000 a month. Let's just imagine it's profit.
Yeah.
You've got to buy a property in an area that's to the tune of 275k to 300,000.
Yeah.
Then that means you've got to find a 25% deposit. 25% deposit on a £300,000 property is £75,000. The question is this: where the heck are you going to find 75k to put down to get £1,000 a month?
Then added fees, stamp duty,
You pay stamp duty, you pay your solicitors, you pay conveyancing fees.
mortgage.
It's absolutely bonkers. But of course, people will argue with me and say, well, of course, because you get to benefit from capital appreciation.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that. But if you can't get into property in the first place, then capital appreciation means absolutely nothing to you.
Exactly.
The reason why I teach these strategies, because I'm a big believer, as a landlord myself, in ownership. I believe that. But you've got to find ways of increasing your income so your affordability goes up, so you can buy more. Does that make sense? But people are not getting that.
Also, it can allow you to have more time to look for better deals.
Of course it does, because there's some random person making all that noise. Of course it does, because it means you're not desperate, you're not clutching at basic deals.
Yeah.
You can take your time, you can grow an income. And what I find very...
It's something that you spoke about really interesting about buying back time.
Brother, that's
Today.
my slogan. This is what I talk about every single time. Yes, I'm a mentor. Yes, I'm a trainer. Yes, I charge people money to learn these strategies.
Yeah.
But my whole purpose and everything I teach is to give you the ability to buy back time. Because once you do things on your own schedule, once you're generating enough money, if you want to, you can quit your job if you want to.
Yeah.
It means you can spend more time in your community, you can spend more time with your family members, you can spend more time raising your kids,
Yeah.
because you have the time to do what you want to do. But you've got to start by creating a system. But if you don't have a system in place, then guess what? You are a slave to that system. And where do you find the time to jump out and create wealth and understand wealth and build a legacy. That's why I'm pushing people to grab this book. That's why I'm pushing people to rent and service accommodation.
You know what's crazy, TJ?
Yeah.
I think because a lot of people have seen you out there.
Yeah.
I've seen you out there.
Yep.
I think people maybe deserve the opportunity to know who TJ is, maybe to discuss a bit about your story, but that's another live video.
I actually talk about, many people don't know my actual story. Many people don't know that I fell into property. Many people don't know that I grew up in a council estate.
Yeah.
And my initial stages in property meant I hated property. I actually hated anyone to do with property because I grew up in a council estate where there was wee poo and needles in the staircase.
Especially them council lifts, the
bruv,
silver ones.
Do you know them ones, bro? 19 floors up, bro, that you get stuck in the lift. That was my experience with property. And I said, oh my God, I don't want anything to do with anyone that has anything to do with property. Now I have multiple properties. Now I generate income from property. But it's so interesting how your life can change. But it comes down to one simple thing. And this is what I teach. It's called the aha moment.
Yeah.
It's called the aha moment, which means you finally hear something and you run with it.
Yeah.
This is what most people don't do. They hear something and they don't do anything about it, and they wonder why their life doesn't change.
Exactly.
I'm all about, and you know me, I'm all about no more excuses. So if you can't afford my training at thousands of pounds, now we'll put a book in front of you.
Get the book.
Then what the flip is your excuse now? Hey TJ, I've been wanting to work with you for quite some time. All right, it costs X amount of money. No problem at all. I'm going to make my book available, and this book is the same information as my training, but it's on paper. Then what the flip is your excuse?
Exactly.
That's it. I don't play any games when it comes to that. I want people to not have an excuse. That's why I've taken my time out. That's why it's a lot of work. I could have been growing my business. I could have been focusing on my family. I could have been on holiday. As you know, I travel all the time.
Yeah.
I could have been living my life, but I've put this down on paper so that no one has an excuse.
Exactly. And then one final thing before we go. How long did it take you to put everything down?
So I've been writing this book coming up to a year and a half, maybe 2 years now.
So if it took me like nearly a year or a year and a half, so the value inside it must be impeccable.
Brother, listen, no one can touch the information in that book. I say that for free.
Because I've read. What's the annoying part is, right? So, some of the books you read, it may talk about service accommodation, rent to rent.
Yeah, but it's a big upsell. It's a pile
exactly.
of shit.
It gives you like the upsell. It doesn't really give you the substance or the value that you think you're gonna get from the book. How would you differentiate your book to others that's on the market?
I've literally just put every single thing down. It's step by step what you need to do. Then of course, naturally, as I said, there are going to be one or two tiny little things that I might have missed out by mistake.
Yeah.
Of course, because a book can't teach you everything. But of course it can give you all the pieces so you can put those pieces together.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, everyone wants to get into service accommodation, but you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So the book gives you what you need to know, and then you can figure out everything later. That's the benefit of the book. As I said, I don't hide anything. I tell you about the ups. I tell you about the escorts, the prostitutes, how to navigate around it, how to get around it, how to protect the asset. There's an entire section on protecting the assets. People don't teach this. Because, look, I'll tell you why I talk about this specific topic. This is how I generate my income. This is how many and hundreds of my clients generate an income. So protecting the asset is one of the first few chapters because it's not your property.
Exactly.
So you've got to focus and do every single thing to protect the asset of the owner, because the property community, the landlord community is so small. If you're so focused on money, and you're not focused on putting systems and tools in place to protect the asset, guess what you're going to do? You're going to shut down the entire industry for everyone because you're going to make a mistake. And guess what's going to happen? The landlord's going to say enough is enough. Then they're going to talk to their small community, and all of them are going to say no more rent to rent, no more service accommodation.
Yeah.
So we teach you how to protect the business, how to protect the assets, how to grow your business, but more importantly, how to extract as much money from this strategy whilst putting down as little money as possible. So I can't wait.
That's amazing, man. And then anyone that's not doing service accommodation, do you think they will benefit from this?
Absolutely, because I believe every single person should be doing an element of service accommodation. I believe no matter what your strategy is, you might think service accommodation using the rent-to-rent route is beneath you, but it's factually incorrect. Because if you do it this way, if you can systemize, because everyone says, oh, well, it takes too much time, it's too, it takes this time and that time. If you can systemize the entire process, which is what I talk about in the book, then you can actually step away. You guys know I travel at least 12 times a year, 12 to 18 holidays a year.
That's like once a month.
Pretty much once a month. And once a while, when I can't get away all at the same time, I go away for a chunk of time. So next month, so May, I'm going away for the whole month to Dubai. That's a whole month that I'm going away,
you'll come
and that's
back
going to
black,
catch up.
bro.
I'm going to come back really loudly. I'm going to get all sorts of tans out there. But the
Yeah.
point I'm trying to make is every single person should at least read the book and make an informed decision whether serviced accommodation is the strategy for them. Simple. You would be silly not to. You'd be silly to discard it because it's not your core strategy. But how does something become your core strategy? You learn about it.
Exactly. Even for example, on the rent to HMO, when your room's empty, when you start doing it for short term, that's kind of service accommodation.
Absolutely. Of course it is. Of course it is. Because you've got to know what you're doing, though. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to understand the regulations. You've got to understand the rules that govern what you're trying to do. And you need to take advantage. People are saying, well, service accommodation is going to die out soon. Well, no. People have been saying that for the longest time. People have been saying that since forever. And you know what's interesting? Even if it is going to die out soon, how about you take the opportunity to make as much money from the business
Before it
and go
blows
to...
up.
I don't understand that logic.
Yeah.
So again, I talk about how you can scale. The tiny little tips and tricks that you've got to do to take advantage. And also, if you're brand new, grab it. If you've got experience, grab the book. It should be coming out soon. I'm still working on the final dates, but I'm very, very confident that this book will change a number of lives only because of how it's written. I don't play games, guys. I laugh and joke around, but the book will get you straight in the face and say, hey, there's the information, go and do something about it. And if you don't do something about it, you're clearly not serious about creating wealth. You choose. That's it.
Exactly. That's amazing, bro. So, I'll keep you guys updated on how it's going on, because everyone that follows me, I really believe in educating yourself, and I really believe in this project because I've seen TJ's work, and then anyone that follows me that doing service accommodation, anything like that, stay tuned. We'll keep you posted, and then anything comes up, I'll let you know. Follow TJ, follow the work, and then make sure you grab the book when it's released.
Absolutely.
And then,
so keep an eye out on my page.
100%.
Yeah, I'm going to try and throw in 1 or 2 bonuses there. So yeah, I'm going to throw out 1 or 2 bonuses just to, get people excited a little bit, because I want to get the book into every person's hands. And once I finalise the cover, then I'll let everyone see it as well.
I'll put on my things, and let my people know what they think of it.
Do you know what would be crazy? If I could get a few people on your live and on my live who really believe that this book can help, if they want to become like evangelists and tell every single person about it, they should reach out to me, and then we can just take over the entire world and get every single person to know that this book can change their lives. So reach out to me if you're happy to spread the word.
It's like your essay Bible, so guys, get involved.
I should have called it the Service Accommodation Bible. That's the truth. So reach out to us. Let's see how we can get this book in every single person's hands. Let's see how everyone can start generating £400 to £1,000 per month from somebody else's assets, and how you can protect the business, grow the business, and change your life.
Awesome, guys. So you hear it. Stay tuned, guys, and we'll keep you posted.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Speak to you soon and see you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Musali.